Hello, and thanks for tuning in to WashingtonExec's Veterans Day series, where we're speaking with some of the most innovative companies in GovCon about how they recognize this federal holiday and support veterans throughout the year. Today, I'm speaking with Mark Drever, who is founding partner and CEO of Xcelerate Solutions. Mark, thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me, Rachel. It's an honor to be here and a pleasure to speak with you.
Absolutely. So tell us about your personal and professional connection to the veteran community and why supporting veterans is so important to you.
Yeah, it's really it's kind of just in my blood. Both of my grandparents served in the Army and were in World War II, and my father was in the Navy before I was born. My uncle was in the Air Force. My stepfather was a Marine, and so I came from a long family of service, and the pride and respect that people I looked up to in my family had for that institution and the impact that it had on their lives was just something that I wanted to be a part of from a very young age. And was chasing that dream until I was about 16 years old when I was involved in a bad accident where I lost the vision in my left eye, and that dream was kind of lost. I kind of figured it out though. I stumbled into the government contracting community, and I quickly learned that serving those who do serve is the next best thing to serving myself. And so that's really what we focused on. I founded the company on 9/11/2009 with that premise in mind, which was to help make the country safer and to make sure that we were supporting those who are working to make us safer as citizens every day.
How does Xcelerate Solutions recognize and support the veteran community throughout the year, and what role do you play in these efforts?
Yeah, so hiring veterans first and foremost is, I think, the best way that you can really honor veterans is making sure that you have dedicated programs in place for your company that target veterans. And why is it that I want to target veterans? Not just because I'm a good American and not because I feel like we owe them something, but it's because of the skill sets that they bring to the table. They generally speaking are very disciplined in their approach to executing tasks. They're very good on follow up and follow through. They're dependable. They're hardworking, and generally speaking, they're not in it for the money. They're in it for the mission. And all of those things are really the reasons why we hire veterans and the qualities that they bring to the table. And I think creating long-term sustainable job opportunities for veterans and opportunities for them that didn't exist before they met our firm is really the best gift that we can give them.
Tell me more about your veterans hiring initiatives.
Yeah, so we're involved in many different veterans hiring initiatives. We've worked with transition organizations at local agencies here in town, along with really across the country as military members are moving out. We've done things like created housing for folks and moved them to areas, for example, out in Clarksburg, West Virginia. So, we ran the National Gun Check program out there for a long time, and we would bring in retired folks or people who just got out of the military, not necessarily retired, and we would relocate them to West Virginia and put them up in housing and help them get a start with the next phase of their career. Virginia Hires Veterans is a big initiative that Governor Youngkin put out and something that we're involved in, and we received awards for that, along with awards from the Department of Defense for the hiring of veterans and the other things that we've done. And at any given time, roughly 20 to 25% of our employees are veterans. I think last count as of last week was 21% right now of all employees here at Xcelerate are veterans, and so we're really proud of that, and we continue to look for one more like our best.
So, what difference have these initiatives that you've just described made for the company and its vision?
Yeah, it's really once, as I tell my kids and I tell our employees all the time, we will be 75% as good as 100% of the people that we hang around with, and that's a sliding scale. And so what we get with the veteran community when we hire them is one more like our best. A players want to be around A players. B players generally don't want to be around A players, and C players certainly don't. And so we tend to want to hire A players, and A players attract other A players. And so that network of folks that they're bringing into the organization has been hugely valuable to us. And we just take a great source of pride in what we do. We support a number of veteran initiatives outside of Xcelerate. I'm on the board of Patriot Point, which is an organization that's designed to support combat wounded veterans and their families, to provide a retreat for them and to provide very specific programmatic healing things that are out there and available through the community. It's a wonderful, wonderful place I've taken many of our accelerators down there along with veterans that I know outside of Xcelerate. It's a real source of personal pride for me that I'm honored to serve on that board, on the advisory board.
Do you have specific Veterans Day programs planned for this year?
We do. So you'll see a lot of public information that's pushed out through social media. We will recognize veterans and tell veterans stories on those days, and share those experiences with people who are interested in sharing them. Some veterans don't want to share all of their experiences, and that's okay. And so, I generally make a personal connection with most veterans that we hire, especially in our infrastructure staff back here at headquarters, and I sit down with them and talk to them about, what can we do together to give back to the community, because I haven't met one of those A-player veterans yet that doesn't want to give back to the community.
Mark, considering so many GovCon companies employ a large percentage of veterans, why is it important to you and Xcelerate Solutions to continue recognizing veterans and supporting them and their families, not just on Veterans Day, but year round?
Right. And I appreciate that question very much. I think it's our social obligation, quite frankly, to help those who have served our country. And whether you're a veteran, whether you're a civilian that goes and works for the government, and you're downrange, and quite frankly, whether anything that you do in public service, I believe as leaders in the business community, we have a social responsibility to make that first interaction, that second interaction, whatever interaction those veterans are going to have with industry, a really positive one. I take that on as a personal challenge for people that are transitioning out. I really care about this. I care about it deeply. It's very personal to me. It's in my blood, and I'm really fulfilling a lifelong dream that I really wasn't able to achieve on my own. And so I want to make this a special experience for people. And, in the GovCon industry, especially on the services side, it's very difficult to differentiate yourself, when you don't have a lot of intellectual property. If you have very specific products, or you're selling a software or a hardware product, differentiation is easier. And so, just the nature of GovCon and where we are, this part of our special sauce is the experience that we create for our employees and our customers alike. And I think our customers and our employees see that connection to the veteran community. And that's one of the reasons why we continue to grow and expand dramatically in the Department of Defense, along with other organizations in Homeland Security and really across the entire federal government.
Wonderful. Well, Mark, thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate your time.
All right.
And happy Veterans Day. And do me a favor, for all you other executives and CEOs out there, please go hire a veteran and make sure they're one more like your best. You will not be disappointed.